Yeah, awesome. All right, we're in production officially. This is my first YouTube video, and I'm pretty excited. Um, I guess with this channel, I really want to like talk about the things I've learned and try to help out everyone. I've been watching like a lot of YouTube videos of people around my age, mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, coming on here and talking about, the stuff that happened in their lives, their struggles or whatnot, and I was inspired to do the same, because you know, I really want to help people in my position or people who will be in my position, you know, coming to this age or whatnot, especially in this world of like confusion and whatnot. And to start off, I would like to talk about self improvement and how that's shaping up my life. Like, and I don't mean it in a red pill way. That's not what I'm talking about, where it's, you're just waking up at 2 a.m. to do like 300 burpees and run like 10 miles a day. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, just like literally like bettering yourself from like the inside out, like making sure your mental health is good and spiritual and physical. And they're all are intertangled together. Like you can't just have one over the other, right? Like you can't like go all in your physical health but then let your mental health degrade. You can't even let your spiritual health degrade but then you have good mental health. Like all of it like goes together, and those are like three things that I've been trying to work on for myself. And like growing up, I never actually like valued all three of these. Like when I was in high school and college, I always was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a fucking six pack or whatnot. Yeah, or like I'm gonna read all these books so I can like feel smart, and like impress people. Like yeah, I'm so smart. I read Monte Cristo, The Count of Monte Cristo. I'm so fucking smart. I read Dante's Inferno. Look at me, look how fucking smart I am. Or like I want to get like the best clothes. I want to have the best drip. I'm going to impress everyone. And looking back at that, all of that is just like coming from external validation. And growing up, you know, or not necessarily growing up, but just getting older, I realized how brain dead that is to just strive for external validation. And I truly believe that self improvement has to be for yourself. You know, like I really think that you shouldn't do shit for other people. You really should improve for yourself because it's going to bleed over anyways. You know, and one thing I'm trying to do for the self improvement is trying to focus more on the more important things in my life and not just working, because just working, I mean, working is good, you do it to make money, but that's not necessarily improving yourself or improving your situation. I just think, at least for me, like right now, like I have to do more. Like for instance, like I have to focus more on my health and I have to focus more on my mental state. Like I can't be screwing around just working and then going to bed and then working, doing that whole pattern over and over and over and over again, and not trying to put good things in my head, or trying to work out to better my physical abilities. And one way I'm trying to maintain focus um, and to improve myself is making sure I go to the gym throughout the week. Like I told myself, okay, I want to go to the gym at least 4 days a week. Upper body, lower body, rest day, and then upper body, lower body again. And with that, like I have to eat healthy, right? I have to eat a certain amount of calories, protein, fats, and carbs. All the macros, right? Which leads to me, feeling good, because I'm eating enough. But then this also leads to me like, okay, I might need some magnesium to, you know, to help with muscle recovery, right? And I need to drink more water. and I need to take some vitamin D, and that makes me feel even better. But with that, it's like, okay, I need to recover, so I need to sleep, and sleeping's really important, and that makes me feel even better. And just going to the gym alone has helped my focus and helped me get in line. Gave me a structure, which I guess like focus and being in a structured schedule is like what I'm trying to do. Um, yeah, I guess it's like just trying to be like having a schedule, and just sticking to that schedule so you can better improve yourself. And a really good side effect is that you feel good and you look good. Like I'm starting to see a lot of progress in the gym, because I'm making sure I'm drinking my water and taking my creatine. The creatine, guys, you gotta get on creatine. Like if you're not on creatine and you're going to the gym, like you're missing out. Like you don't necessarily need creatine, but creatine helps, right? And I did read that it's the most like research supplement out there, so try to get on that. But anyways, um, I just think like I really think that going to the gym or having some type of physical activity will help you focus and help you get your mind off of the unnecessary things throughout life. Like if you don't want to go to the gym, maybe go to a park and walk. Go ride a bike. But if you can't leave, like just do some calisthenics in your room. Like it's a lot of stuff that you can do to like take your mind off of things and focus on one particular thing that can help benefit you in the future. And another thing that helps my focus or helping me focus more and being more intentional is making sure I at least read like a chapter a day of a book I'm reading. Like right now I'm reading The Count of Monte Cristo, and it is a very excellent book. It's a great book about revenge and also bettering yourself for that sweet revenge. It's really good. I'm right at the beginning of it, and I've been reading like a chapter a day, and which is honestly for me it's a lot more sustainable than like reading as much as I can every day because I'm gonna burn out. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just read a chapter a day, right? And the other thing with this is that reading is really good for you, and it's helping me like focus. It's slowing my brain down. I'm not like consistently checking my phone, or I don't have that feeling of checking my phone. I can concentrate on more things. Like I've noticed that the more I've read, the more I can just like ruminate and just be in silence. Like I don't have to have noise music, or I don't have to like pull up, social media to like entertain myself. Like I can just think, and that is from reading, because when you're reading, you're literally just sitting down, analyzing text and trying to understand what that text means. And that is really good for you. It's really good for you. And soon, I guess my goal with that is to like finish a book, because I want to finish my book. And I also want to learn more words, and I want to learn how to read better. Especially nowadays, like I think a hidden superpower is knowing how to fucking read, man. You gotta know how to fucking read, man. Like I just think it's so important. Oh man, I'm already at 8 minutes and like 50 seconds. Wow, time goes by fast. I didn't know it was like this easy to talk because I thought I would struggle for time. That's interesting. Um, yeah, again, like this is my first time doing this YouTube stuff, so if there's any like tips or tricks to make this a lot better, just let me know. Like I'm not sure if the audio really sounds too good or the background game is good. I mean, of course it's good. It's freaking Halo, right? That's like the best thing ever. And I think the last thing I want to talk about, um, of like improving myself, with focus or whatnot, is the spiritual aspect of myself. And I'm not necessarily talking about religion, because I don't think you have to be religious to be spiritual or to improve your spirituality, not unless that's what you need to do. There's Christians, Muslim, Buddhists, and if those religions help you, then really dive into it and make sure it is a schedule, because you don't want to slack with spirituality either, because that's almost like you're purpose of living, you know, to be spiritual, at least in my sense, at least to my understanding, I mean. And honestly, like, I think spirituality can like be part of like your passion, or anything that like makes you tick, like anything that helps you get out of bed every morning. It helps you be excited for the day, you know. Like for me, like what's really spiritual for me is doing my artwork. You know, I've been drawing since I was 5, you know, and I, you know, recently got into game development, you know, learning 3D modeling, learning programs like Maya, ZBrush, and just making art. And honestly, like, just creating makes me feel so whole inside. You know, like the late nights, right, where I got my energy drink and I'm just, you know, studying anatomy, or, you know, doing like painting studies, or even doing my own like OCs, like original characters and stuff, coming up with character designs. Like that's literally peak life right there for me. Like that's like a peak moment in my life. Like if I had a bad fucking day, but I got to draw, it's almost saved. Like it's almost saved, and it's something that keeps me going. And I think that spiritualness is like believing something higher than you. And I really think that the art I create, or the art that everybody creates, is something higher, you know, because you're making, not just making something for yourself, but you're making something for, like, you know, everyone, you know, in a way, right? If you don't post your artwork, then no one's going to see it, right? But you know, like, I'm trying to create my art so I can help inspire other people, you know, and I'm trying to figure out what project I need to do that, you know, because I want to bring people together some way or another, you know, to build a community or whatnot. Um, and I think that that's important. So like, if you have something that you're passionate about that makes you feel like you're like having an out of body experience in a healthy way, right? I'm not talking about drugs, right? I'm talking about like something that makes you feel alive, you know, something that makes you feel like it's worth living, you know, like, you know, like if you are a Christian, and you know, that's something that makes you feel good, you know, really go get into the Bible and read and pray to God if that's what, you know, you want to do. Or like if you're like a pagan, right, like a Norse pagan, you know, make sure you pray to Odin, you know, give offerings or whatnot. I'm saying that a lot. Or like, I don't know, if you're passionate about dance or videography, photography, you know, programming, whatever, anything that's like that makes you feel good, just keep doing it. Especially if it is productive, or something that's productive within yourself, because just because like I said earlier, like just because you're working doesn't necessarily mean like you're helping yourself. You're helping yourself in one way, but that doesn't cover everything, right? You have to make sure that you're good from the inside and your spiritual side, you know, the side that you can't really, you know, physically hold or touch, you know, something that's hard to describe. And I think that's, and I really think that's important. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's it. That's all I really wanted to talk about. I really appreciate whoever's listening or watching the video. I hope you got something out of it. And again, this is like my first video, so if there's anything I need to improve on, just let me know. Put it in the comments, you know. And yeah, may the flames guide your way.